Welcome back to another live trading session. Here is another trading session we are beginning for the New York, and here is what we are looking at in this session to trade the market. Welcome. Welcome. Let's begin another trading session. Big one after the previous session's successful closure of our trade. A pretty successful move. Good morning. Welcome back to another live trading session. Here is looking for some new entry at this level. Now, going to do a complete multiple time frame analysis. And with that multiple time frame analysis, also we'll be looking at the overall sentiment analysis as well as the fundamental analysis before we look at an entry. Now the market structure that you can see here is very interesting. Now if you look at that, it's an interesting market structure. And in that interesting market structure, the price after a pullback, we could see the market to have rejection, what I think that after this initial correction here. So let's begin that where the market is heading at the moment, and with this move, and also we will be able to see some new trading opportunity in this area. Okay, so it's on a consolidation, and when the market in a sideways, especially in a falling market, when the market in a sideways, it's a good area for us to be able to look for an entry here in this market. So this is the consolidation that you can see at this level. So let's first of all look at that overall trend direction here. This is the recent level of resistance, and also this is the recent level of support, where looking for an entry here in this market. So we are looking at an entry at this level for another wave of move in this market. So this is the daily chart, and I'm going to do now an analysis, but I'm waiting. I see some members is still on the way to join the live session, so taking 30-second break so that everyone can join. In the meantime, in this 30 seconds, make sure guys you give it like, so I know that from the likes how many are at the present in the session, and also you can write something on the live chat. Cool, great. So we had our thank you. So if you look at, we had our previous session. All right, thank you. Yep, awesome. Now if you look at that previous session, we had an entirely stronger breakup structure that you can see along this area. Now with this breakup structure, I'm looking at the daily chart. Now daily chart is very important to look at. Why? Because daily time frame, we are not trading on daily, but it's still it gives you a better understanding of the market movement. So let's understand that what we can look at in this market. What is in fact here to trade the market? Okay, so daily chart, that on gold, it's a downtrending market, and in this downtrend, this is the previous key level that you can see, and with this previous key level, support, down resistance, it's a bit scary. I don't have big margin. We have many news coming now after 15 minutes. We will be looking at the news and also with the data release, that how it is going. So if you look at that current, looking at the calendar here, so this is the, if you look at that coming up today is the last day for the news, right? We have another trading day, but here what you can see that coming up for the high impact news is the last day, and then coming up Friday. And so I think that after this data, there might be increased volatility, okay, throughout the invoice session, and also for tomorrow as the last day of trading week. And if you look at, there is a since there was an earthquake, we saw that there is an increased volatility because of any kind of natural disaster, or if you look at that war. And we will be looking at also the sentiment analysis. If you look at some of the moves that happened today, lower time frame during our trade also is related to that, and I'll show you that exactly how the market has reacted to that. And now with the coming fundamental, that means data, along with the current volatility, we might see the market again going for another bigger move later today. Unemployment claim as well here. So no, there are two data, unemployment claims on AUD that has been already published earlier. So we saw that employment change was very positive on AUD, and unemployment rate remained steady. So that was if you look at the AUD USD, you'll see that some move, as AUD USD and euro dollar currently in a bearish trend. If you look at that overall market, usually going to reflect that, but let's look at how the market, you see that euro dollar is in a bearish trend, right? And if you look at that on, so when I look at the multiple currency pairs, it becomes much easy to read the market. So if you look at the British pound US dollar, also in a bearish trend. But when you look at the AUD USD, okay, so going back to the 4 hour on AUD USD, and GBP USD, I'm bringing some of the factors that you can look at when you are trading, so you can see that they all are in a bearish trend, right? Not sure why all those currency pairs not organizing itself. Down. Okay, so if you look at that on AUD USD, and as the overall market trend is bearish, right? So AUD USD, euro dollar and USD/JPY bullish. Okay, with the dollar index is in bullish trend if you closely look at. So therefore, looking at XAUUSD, now we can reflect all of that to, as we are trading gold here in our previous session as well. Mostly here this session I do trade other currencies as well. We can see that XAUUSD, this is the current price action that you can see after going up to the multiple times. The market is slowly reflecting back below with multiple. You see there is a consolidation, and with this consolidation the market is slowly breaking its breaking below of this trend line. There is also a head and shoulder that you can see after this initial break of this lower time frame trend line. Now, are you going to see a sell off this level? Do you think so? We might see that sell off can happen. Very critical level, right? If you look at the 30 minutes, we had just after the finishing the session, I opened one sell trade, and then we closed that straight with the profit, and just we had to move that a little bit because there's very tight entry during the London session, and as just followed the trend, right? Many of you probably have had that trade. Yesterday also during the London session, NY session, we had a trade, and I'm going through all of that, right? So first, let's understand the reason. Let's reduce the volume here. Let's understand the reason for those trades. Any live stream like this show, people. Welcome for the call. Okay, so with this movement that you can see, TP1 395, TP2 3900, but yeah, good call. Good call. I will wait a little bit. So let's see that here there is a news coming, okay, in 30 minutes time, and that's gonna be potentially spike because this is a high impact news, red folder. Now before that news, also would like to do some sentiment analysis. Going to here that looking at some of the current recent data release that you can see. Iran warns ships it's unacceptable and dangerous to transit the Strait of Hormuz without their approval. So here now, if you look at that, this is a key factors really contributing to the market movement, especially on oil, right? So if you look at that oil price is highly influenced currently by the Strait of Hormuz. So we see that there is some warning from Iran. Ships is unacceptable and dangerous to transit the Strait of Hormuz without their approval. So that means Iran, according to this news, want to say that they are controlling the Strait of Hormuz. So what to expect from Thursday report on US inflation? So let's say that what is today's final GDP and core PC price index. Differs from the core CPI that is only measured goods and services targeted towards and consumed by individuals. Prices are weighted according to total expenditure per item, which gives importance insight into consumer spending behavior. CPI is released about 10 days earlier and tend to garner most of their attention. Okay, so it's CPI core PCE price. Come on, core PCE price index. Okay, it's the Federal Reserve's primary inflation measure. Inflation is important to the currency valuation because rising price lead the central bank to raise interest rates. Interest rates out of respect for their inflation containment mandate. So I think that's important data coming up. So is the Federal Reserve's primary inflation measure, right? Why traders care? So this is always, if you look at that, you'll understand that why traders care. Inflation is important to currency valuation because rising price lead the central bank to rise interest rates out of respect for their inflation containment mandate. Personal consumption expenditure. So we have 7 minutes, and final GDP. What it is here is the broadest measure of the economic activity and the primary gauge of the economic's health. They actually, interestingly, GDP and core PC price index sometime bring two opposite directional conflicting thing that's sometimes very difficult to measure. Let me tell you why. When the GDP goes higher, usually the inflation goes higher. Sometimes they are two-edged sword, and that's why it's sometimes very difficult to interpret actual yielding, because when GDP higher, what does that mean? There has been more and more produce sell happen, which actually ultimately lead to inflation in some extent. So they are very contrary. So that's why when they both remain in like one is high, like both of them can remain under the constraint, that's a very nice and good move. Okay, so let's see that what's coming up. And traders care. So you can see that here at the moment, as a short-term trader, we care about the spike, right? That's what we're looking at. I'm not trading the spike, but I don't even tell to trade the spike. I sell TP1 3955, TP2 3900, but first may take some liquidity. Yeah, let's see that here. And now going to, if you look at that here, with the sentiment analysis before the news, US dollar rides high on Fed rate hikes bet. So with that one here, as we discussed that with the Fed this year's move, labor force Australia may. Okay, we looked at that. President Trump delivers remarkable remarks at the Great American State Fair. Iraq OPEC departure decision is possible if no quota increases. The short-term situation now looks better than we had expected. BOJ could accelerate or upsize rate hike if inflation risk blind. Iran talk resume next week, likely to. Okay. So now this, at the moment, all the focus that we are looking at is with the upcoming data. Okay, and then spike, especially if the spike up, it's where we will be able to see a very good trading opportunity. If the spike down, then I will be waiting for a pullback to the upside. If the spike up, we might be able to sell off the top, or at least on the drop. So this is the plan. So if the spike up, we will be looking to sell as top as possible because it's the downtrend. If the spike down, then I will be waiting for a pullback or a strong liquidity sweep along the way for selling here. There was a significant consolidation. You can see it's a triangular pattern. Chances for a drop is higher. We have a few minutes to go for the data to come up. And I'm looking at here. So say that where it is heading. And in the meantime, traders, make sure you like this stream and also subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done yet, press the notification bell so you are not missing any of the content that I'm posting every day. Waiting on the data to come up. So here significant consolidation. We can see that there is a breakout, and it is a break of the trend line that you can see off that level, and that's a very important zone that you can see overall of this break of this trend line. And with this break of this trend line, we are looking at here for a moving up, potentially to break this high here, and going up is an opportunity, potentially creating for a sell. Good evening, sir. I'm not skipping the ads from Philippines. Thank you. The ad is not running as long as I know, but I'm not sure because I turn off so that the experience get good. And sometimes, you know, we open a trade, we give an update, and probably there is an ad running, and I don't want you to miss that part. So I turn off the ad running. But anyway, if you see the ad, let me know if something is still I need to change. Okay, so you saw that spike has come out. What is the calendar says? Final GDP is more than forecast, almost nearly 1.5 times, I think. Core PC price index remain within the forecast. So this is, I would say that as the last week's, like the weekend results from the dollar, and we don't have any more data coming this week, which is significantly boosting, I think, that on DXY. If you look at that, core PC price index is remaining 0.3, so it didn't drop while GDP has gone up. So that means inflationary measure remain within, according to that statistics, remaining within that. And if you look at the final GDP has gone up significantly from 1.6% to 2.1%, which was way more than that. So, and this is where you can see there is a significant spike here back. Let's see that how has that on DXY. What I think the DXY, this move could be highly likely a liquidity grab for another bounce here. And if you go to the gold again, this is the daily chart on gold, and I would like to look at, look at the, okay. So here, this is the, if you look at that here on the 4-hour chart, what you can see, Okay, so there is a spike. If you look at that overall, there is a significant change in market sentiment, guys. And good evening. So the spike is up, right? Now, because there is a spike up, if you look at the market has reached that daily high, which is an important area of value, that you can see the price has reached that level. And of this level, that looking to see the market to have that reaction again for another move. And this is the 1 hour price action. There is a breakout here, and this is a very unusual breakout that you can see, and I am ready for an entry here, potentially from those key level. But would like to see that if you look at the market has moved up of this level, okay, it may go even higher before it drops. And therefore, looking at this area, fake out How many of you think that is a fake out? Let me start with a poll. Do you think? Let us know in the live chat. So I am sharing a poll here. So I'm sharing a poll. Okay. Just market news. And I have shared two potential scenario. You can cast that one here. Really fake out. Okay. I think so. And that might give us an entry opportunity, right? But before we look at that, you can see the market. It seems to me as well a potential false breakout. And if you look at the 15 minutes close, very large candlestick pattern that you can see. It's the 15 minutes. And we have 4 minutes to go for this data to come up. But this is a very large move, and like to give a stop loss above this high, pretty large move. But I'm looking to sell here. Not yet fully ready, but I'm looking to sell at this level. If you look at that. All right, ready? And let me know if you're ready. So I think this is the current. If you look at that, the market left imbalance here. You see there is a gap. Guys, this is crucial. You see it left some gap here. This is 1 minute chart. Very high chance that the market is likely to go again to fill those gaps. And then could return again back in that area. So selling from here is not a good idea yet. We'll be waiting for that to happen. The market is still trading downward overall bias. Yes, I agree with you. The market is still overall downtrending bias. But I will be able to see that usually in a downtrend, going up, that means that breaking from the structure is good news for entry. All right, so if you look at that, see the market left quite a few gap here. It's most likely to go again to retest those levels, and then once those gap is filled, you could see the market to have, that will tell you actually after those gap filled, if the market is preparing for a drop or another wave of bounce. Okay, it is not unusual to see that little extended move above. Let me tell you what I think here. There's always a pattern that you can spot here. Let me draw this level so you'll understand what I mean by that. You see this is a key resistance line, right? And in that resistance, what you can see, that series of lower high, and these are bigger points, bigger move, right? Series of lower high. But with the respect to time, I'll delete this one and explain to what I mean by that. This is a real move, guys. This is change how you look at the market. You see from here, series of lower high, but with respect to time, this series of lower high became flatter and flatter. So it's in a zone where here, right, what you could see that this is a dynamic level of resistance, that the market potentially to break that high, which will break this series of lower high or equal high to a higher high, and then could return again back down. This is one possibility. and that's why I draw this level to see if the market is going to break that high. And this is if you look at that 100 pip move, if the market goes there. Okay, so the market is still trading down and over bias. Yeah. Okay, so it's trying to break that high here that you can see in that area. And okay, getting that upside as we discussed. Okay, so if you look at that here, going to that level, which is key level that you can see of that. So with a gap open, that from here, this move, well, you can see that one single move. Usually that kind of move is a sign of a false breakout. Okay, so if that false breakout, or the naming is key, or the breakout structure can create selling pressure. The market is still trading downtrend. So at what level gold can down after GDP data results? Okay, currently if you look at that, the GDP has come to be higher. Okay, and core PC price index remaining at level, so at forecast. So what you could see here, that the market may what I think that if you look at the dollar index, might be pushing for a pullback here. You see there is a significant downside movement that might be bringing the market to the lower for a deeper pullback, because this is the daily move. The market has already moved a lot that you can see, and I think that's coming for a pullback for potentially another wave of bounce here in this market. So therefore, from the gold perspective, what I think that this move that you can see to the upside may be creating potentially a selling pressure of that, and that's a pretty stronger move. Already the market has crossed that high, right? Usually this kind of move, one single move, is it a reversal, or it is a liquidity sweep that we are looking at here in this market. So from here, that initially the market created its bias. That bias is now from the daily that you can see here, sharp move. Now the market has dropped here significantly. Okay, we need to see that reversal started for us to be able to look for sell here in this market. It's very important to look at. And here that going to the news area. Okay, so GDP, third estimate, industries, corporate profit, state GDP, and state personal. So if you look at that, GDP, industries, corporate profit, state GDP, and state income, quarter 20. So yes, GDP growth revised up to 2.1% in quarter 1. How does that factors to other important factors? The market is still trending downward overall bias. So at what level gold can down after GDP data results? So the gold currently at a level where if you look at that overall, the market reached that key area, and we want to see that there is a downtrend continuation, okay, which is very important to look at. And there's a downtrend continuation because locally we see that there is a starting of an uptrend, right? Starting on an uptrend, and in that uptrend, if the market has reacted off that level, that is where you will be able to see that the market to have that downtrending move here in this market. Still you can see that it's pushing upward, still pushing upward. So I had a pool that I've shared, and we see that spike up. Okay, so 87% voted that spike up is a fake out. If that's the case, then we might see a straight coming back down again, right? Not that straight, straight, like fall down, right? We had quite a few massive trade that earlier, and I'm looking forward to see similar. Now the levels that we discussed, the market is just trying to break that high, and I think about going above this zone can create an opportunity. If you look at here, you can see series of higher low here as well. This could be, it is now a possibility for the market to go ahead and feel that upside here. Just been crossed. This is the previous swing high. It just tested that level, right? Little up. So just created a higher high here at this level. And I'll leave it there for another bounce so that you can look for sell. Now we are almost end of the week, right? Just to need to observe the market, what actually the data is coming here in the overall market movement. So at the moment, if you look at, this is where the narrow consolidation area, where the market is most likely to go ahead and break that high, could be, and going up is where we could see that selling pressure of this level. I'm getting ready for an entry as soon as you can see better confirmation here. So if you look at the 1 hour candle close coming, and this is a direct hit to this key level. This is a direct hit to this key level. From here, if you look at, market is coming to the direction of the trend, could be rising back to the resistance and then coming back down here. So with that movement, this is the key level that you can see of this. Okay, going up here is an opportunity that you could see off that. Preparing for an entry, and that might be is still showing upside. That's breaking out. Okay, so 1 hour candle close, and how does the next one is coming? It might go to retest the previous swing level, which is support down resistance here. All right. That is awesome. Now the market is going to a level we could find a potential selling pressure. I'm still on the sell side, though it is showing a bit of stronger movement, but the overall trend, so I'm still emphasizing on the trend. And usually this is the 1 hour price. If it react off that key resistance line, it's gonna be straight coming back again to the support area. How do you see this move here now? It's almost hitting the previous resistance, and there is a large fair value gap. If we can catch in the right time, it's gonna be a pretty good move. Okay, this is a fair value gap, smaller but important. And so because this is a fair value gap, you see that going from here with one single move without any pullback, going to that fair value gap can create a sharp move here back down. And might coincide here. Going to the daily here, we can see that very sharp move back towards the upside. And what you can see on dollar index. So from here, there you can see it's a one single move. This is one simple breakout here. So let's looking at the market might now going to hit that level. It might up further. New York open will bring it back down. Okay, let's see that. I think it might up further here, could be in that area. Here, pull back. What you can see here. Thank you. Yeah, this is a pretty stronger move at the moment in terms of that. And I would like to also keep eye for the current volatility. And so GDP third estimate, industries, corporate profit, state GDP and state person. No, so this is a very stronger move on GDP in terms of here. Yeah, still in this uptrending move that you can see here. Thank you. So silver also rising very fast. Yeah, if gold is rising, silver also going to rise. They usually follow each other because they are cousin, right? Gold and silver are cousin. I used to trade silver also before a lot, but these days I really actually focusing all my effort on gold. Silver also they create the similar kind of a structure that you can see, almost the same trend as gold on silver. It's easy to, you know, like trading one it's easy because gold has usually a higher volatility. Before, silver has a very low volatility. That's why you know, if you go a couple of years ago, 5 years, 6 years ago, there was still volatility. If you go 10 years ago, silver had a very smaller volatility compared to the gold, that you can understand from the charts. Look at the monthly here, you see that. You see in 20, even in 2024, you see that silver's monthly price action was very small and narrow, and in 2019, 2020, 2019 was very small volatility. But if you go to the gold, you see that on 2024, here also there was a comparatively less volatility, but gold over time, you know, it's always expensive, so more. Okay, now we can see it's maintaining upside. So this is a newly now a fresh uptrend that you can see at this level. 4060 good zone to sell. Yeah, we can see that. And creating an upside bias that you can see from here. There is a 10 and 20 MA crossed over, creating an upside bias, and which is showing that on XAUUSD potentially to remain here that bullish that you can see of this level. So do you see 4060 good zone to sell? 4060, that's pretty high yet. This level is breaking this level. 4040 is a good zone for, above this level is a good zone for sell. Above this zone, so it can be 4050 to 4060 if the market goes that far, because this is the swing low is here, right? So if you look at that swing low, so this is the previous breakup structure. There is a fair value gap, which is, this is the support swing low, and which is 4050. Now usually the market, if you look at a trend, let's understand that how the trend works. So if you look at the trend, a pullback, another drop, pullback, another drop, pullback. So the market usually, this is a typical downtrend, right? Support turn resistance, support turn resistance, right? Now what happened that the market more often just doesn't bounce off that support turn, it little extend above, and that is the zone where for a high probability sell area usually more often. So if you look at that structure, the same analogy if you apply here, that of the support, which is 4050, and this is the zone that the market potentially penetrate above. Okay, that's a high probability zone that if the market reach that far. I'll be waiting to see how the price action react to that level. I mean, this is the key data driving this move. It's not just a short squeeze. You mean that GDP and core PC price index. I don't think that, because usually, let me explain what is my observation, and also you guys can share your thought on that. Absolutely. Usually you see there was a long consolidation here. This consolidation usually happens for the market when the market wait for an important data to come up. And once, for example, now dollar index is overall bullish. So, we usually think that, okay, if dollar index is bullish, this data is for dollar to be stronger, then why the market has gone up here, right? Or dollar index, why? Usually after this data, once the traders see that, okay, there is still scope for dollar index to go higher, the market goes for deeper pullback for another wave of move. So the market goes. All right, so let's see that here. I mean, this is the GDP and CPI are quarterly data, so they have lasting effect on the direction of the market. Everything in the market is perception. Okay, good point. Yeah, that's a philosophical, very good point. It's paradoxical that when the data are positive, everything in the market is perception. Not only the market, everywhere is in fact perception. So if you take the literal meaning of perception, because the market is a combination of the belief, right, of what all traders think in that way. And that's why you see that we do the regular sentiment analysis. We do the regular sentiment analysis is because of to understand that overall the emotion of trader. Okay, because it's important that as a trader you have also understanding of other traders' emotional state, and it can be different than overall. There are many. For example, if you go to a sports ground now, it's World Cup, right? How many of you watch World Cup? You will find a different emotion. Okay, that's why. Let's say you support a team and you are praying for your team to win, and then suddenly your team is 2 score back. That means almost losing. You have 10 minutes time, and suddenly there is 1 score ahead, so there's only 1 score remaining. 8 minutes time remaining, and just before the end of the game, 2 minutes earlier, there is another score. The team is level. You have 2 minutes. There is another one so big that the shot is almost hit the bar, came out, and last shot the score and the team win. So what is your emotion at that point? And at the same time, Strait of Hormuz is closed, for example, right? And then what happened? Those who are trading oil, what is their emotion? At the same time, right? At that moment. So your team is winning, and there was another trader who's had a big oil, like, let's say he has a sell trade, short trade, a big one, and then suddenly he heard that Strait of Hormuz is entirely closed. So those who were selling oil in that trade, they will have a panic. Okay, they might start to buy again, closing their sell. So their emotion and the emotion of the player or the who is watching the soccer is completely different. So if you are trading after you watch the game, then wait some time before you come open your position, because you need to understand that what is going through the other traders. Because if you are happy and then just start to sell oil thinking that everyone is happy, there might be oil price coming down, and then suddenly you heard that after you sell, the Strait of Hormuz closed, so the prices start to go up. So understanding emotion of trader is very important in terms of finding a good trade setup. I see the USD index being negative, BCUSD in sentiment, yeah. A positive GDP, CPI, but negative DXY. Okay, let's see where it is heading. Okay, and US GDP third estimate. Okay, we looked at that, and that's why you see that always we look at the sentiment analysis to understand that where if everything is heading, so that we have a better understanding of the market structure and also the overall sentiment in the market. All right. As I said, we are just a bit of waiting, right? The market is going completely opposite direction of the trend. I hope that you guys are. We are almost nearing to the second half of the week, and in that time the market usually shifts the sentiment. So you see that still the market at that level. I think the buyers here where we are looking at from the 30 minutes perspective, that still didn't hit that level that we are looking at, 4042. some music might be helpful. Waiting for the market to potentially retest that high here, 4050 or near there. Get ready for entry down. Let's go. I'm still waiting to see confirmation at that level. There might be because there is a stronger move. It's a good idea is to wait for the short opportunity maybe. Yeah. Hopefully it goes up first, then drive down. There is still possibility to go up. Still not very good area to sell. We can see some short-term slowdown of this uptrend. If it react off that level, it's gonna be little earlier. Okay, looks like that the market has slowly shown a bearish pressure here at the moment for the lower time frame. Because there is a breakup structure, I will be interested to go for short as soon as we can see some confirmation about the change of trend. So you want to see that actually the market is literally changing the trend before you look at that entry. Sell on trend. Okay, so now with this break again, looking at the one, I think the market slowly, the buyers potentially losing the steam here. Okay, so there might be some slowly a selling pressure may come here. So I'm prepared to enter any trade once we see higher possibility. As we trade the probability, which is very important, that we trade the probability. Okay, we keep probability at our that card, so that we not certainty probability, but higher probability trade that we will be taking. So from this support, it has moved in that area, and I think the market might get still not entering, just looking to see if we enter, what is the possibility for our stop loss. And still not entering, just looking to see that all aspect of trade, that if we enter. Okay, so I'll be looking at sell entry at this level now, and this is 200 pip stop loss. So if your account is small, probably better to wait for high probability setup, and I'm looking at sell here at the moment at this price. Stop loss at 4045, which is important to look at, and the stop loss at 4045.76, and profit target setting below here at 3983.52, and looking at an entry here. At that moment I have opened sell of this level, and with this movement looking forward to see a potentially, if you look at that, the price has initially got some reaction. If this market gets down below, that could be so placing at 4045.76, and TP target setting at 3983.52. And now the market is, we have, especially I have traded this with a possibility for it to be a false breakout. If it is a false breakout, we might see the market coming well below to the support area. All right, so because the overall trend here is bearish, and that's already looked at. Traded the market. Let's see that here the chances to be bearish is higher. Let me know what's your feedback with this trade that we have opened. Just I'm entering into some profit area here at the moment, and I think this market is still looking for sellers. Yes, I think so. Let's see that. In the meantime, make sure you like this stream to 50, and then we have a complete trading community, okay, where thousands of traders trading, which is a paid group, of course, because there is a lot of content here. But this week, next 2 days, it will be completely open for free to join. So I'm sharing here. And the link below this video, and also I have shared in the chat. You can access the link and then join it before it get expired, so that you can access all my trade that I'm sharing in the group. I've opened that sell position of this for a possible rejection. Now if the market reject off this key level, it might straight potentially drop down below, and that's our basis. And we have nearly to 400 pip profit target, but I'm looking to see to take even. We had 2 trades earlier today, and we would like to take another one potentially, and also more later today. Now it's important that the market is getting the reaction of this, because it still can try to bounce back up. But what you can see here, that there is support and a short on gold running in. Okay, a large bearish engulfer. Okay, so this is what the key to look at now. If the market is going to show that reaction back below, okay, if the market shows the reaction back below, it's gonna entirely react back down here. You could see that coming down to break that support area. All right, so you can see the downside movement. So far I'm running in bearish move, coming down to the downside, bearish drop. If the market, if you look at that, successfully breaking below, can entirely break that low here. That is what I'm looking at, guys. This is key support area. Breaking the support can trigger further downward pressure here. It might come back here to this support area. There is a fair value gap. Yep, we can see that selling pressure at that level. Okay, pullback is needed. Already the market has done the falling. We might see now that deeper pullback. Now this price action that you can see, this is the 5 minutes price action, and it might now try to push back again. But if it failed to do so, we might see that entirely a downtrending move here. However, also the market in a support. Okay, so if we look at that here, and can still pick up here some more time. It may try to bounce off this level now. It It has to fail to go higher to fail to go lower here. Okay, getting some stronger bearish momentum. If that price action shows the trend continuation back below, okay, so the market has reached this level where the market trying to break that low, and I'm here. Can continue to down, can continue to drop here. This is a falling market now at the moment so far. Since we open, the market has dropped here for another potential move back below. If you look at the 5 minutes here, which is closing as a bearish engulfer, that you can see from here. And that's entirely a downtrending move from that key level. So we are on trade and running in, and it might just entirely break below because there is a fair value gap here. This is entirely a big fair value gap. Okay, red bearish engulfer on the 5 minutes. Okay, we see that downside. There is a large fair value gap, I'm expecting that entire drop down here back to the support area. We are on the trade. That's a really good one. Moving on, the second trade here. Did you manage the risk? Say yes if you manage the risk, and I'll let you know when I'm closing with the running profit. Thank you. That's awesome. Very good. All right, so the market has dropped to that fair value gap here. Most likely you'll see that continuation of this market structure, and we are looking at here, there is a large fair value gap, and I'm looking for this market to eventually return to the major flow. And there is a sharp liquidity. So we discussed that, we looked at that. This is a fair value gap, and I want to take this big move here with all of you. And trading is easy, as I mentioned. It's the easiest thing that I have ever found. Okay, just understand the trend, wait for the right setup, let the market move. That's what we need to do as a trader, right? Repeat the same system over and over again, have an emotional control, and then let yourself to become a trader, right? All right, so here see that some rejection, as we discussed, that this is a complete rejection of this higher price from this 1 hour perspective, and I'm still letting it run. There is a 1 hour candle close coming, and I'm still letting it run. I'll let you know if I'm closing, but I'm not closing yet. Holding on to that to see that, in fact, if it is something coming down further. Still holding, still running in. Okay, I'm exiting the trade now as the 1 hour candle close coming. I am out with the running profit. The reason I got little earlier is, if you look at the 1 hour, that what I'm looking to see, the market is still can come back well below, but as 1 hour candle close coming in 1 minute, you could see that potentially another deeper pullback, and that market might go back to our entry again. Here I am happy to see the second trade here today after the previous one, which has given significant move here. And it's a good move at this level that you're looking at. That means if you enjoyed the trade here, we have more to take. Great entry analysis, thank you. We are looking at when there is manipulation before NY open, NY existing, reverse that. Not always, it depends, but this is a very strong break of structure that you can see here. With the 1 hour candle close here now, it can continue to drop, or you could see that another bounce back here, because there is initially moved. And that's why I'm out here, is because this market can continue to drop again. We could see another bounce back again to the top. because there was a strong buying happen in that area here. All right, so we got out. I've got out with the running profit. That's a good move. Would like to take again another move shortly, and as soon as we can see the market has appeared with new trading opportunity. All right, so well done, well done. It shows further potential drop, or you could see that going for another move. If this bullish move was not such a stronger, I would hold it, because there is a stronger buying happen. The market might just go for another wave of move. This is little, if you look at here, critical level to hold for the move down, because there is big move happen here. So it can again, if you look at that here, from here can go back again to the higher coming down, or it can happen that the market will go ahead, will create a lower high, and then it will drop again, because it's gonna now potentially going for a pullback, and that pullback could be up to here, somewhere here, creating a series of lower high and coming down if it wants to go continue to drop. Or you could see that going again for another new higher high, but the high chance for going for a pullback here in this area. Okay, we have taken that move. We do take bigger move as well, depending on the market context. Very important to look at. And this is a data driven trade that you can see. Okay, and look at that data driven trade, which is important. So core PC price index forecast 0.3%, actual 0.3%, final GDP 1.6%, forecast 2.1% actual here. Okay, so which is way more than what was forecast here. So that shows the overall dollar index might be here going for okay. So if you look at the dollar index here, that DXY. So DXY, if you look at that here, getting it's Thursday, so I think it might come down for a deeper pullback. The market has already gone significantly to the upside. So because the market has gone there, we could see that pullback here. And yeah, there might be a potential again, another possible upside bias, and that is where we are out with the trade. Okay, got it. It's almost moved 220 pip from where we have opened. All right, so So just looking at it's a very big earthquake. At least 11,000 people will be missing. Back to back ones. Yep, thank you. Yeah, back to back, two of them. So I think there is an initial bounce here of that. There might be another move here now. You can see some pullback again. Congratulations to all. Thank you. Back to back wins. Good analysis. and coaching well gone. 4100. So this is Thursday, right? We have another big trading day coming on Friday. Today is still quite a few sessions go. Now the market is likely to have a wild move in the next couple of hours. There are two reasons. Okay, one is if you look at that, we are end of the month, big reason. Okay, and that's what I always pay attention. Secondly, it's now coming to the end of the week. So it's an end of the week, end of the month, end of the day, and some trader wait for this time all over the month. So you don't miss out as well. And that's why this is the potentially the last chance to join completely free of charge to the premium group, where you can access exclusive trade setup, regular breakdown analysis, as well as everything that I'm using. So this is the before getting back to the, it might get closed, or the group might get closed for some period of time. We might get paid. So you guys can still access the link below this video, and also you can find link I have shared in the chat group, where you can directly join here to be part of the training community and to become part of this the broader trading setup. Here, as we are going towards the next phase of the market movement, and I will be looking at the market for any trade setup, not only XAUUSD, also we do open currency trade, and also mainly the currency and XAUUSD. So if you guys looked at, if you're trading the currency as well, so keep eye for all analysis and updates. And I will be also looking at later today. Incredible trading session with all of you, and I believe that you enjoyed this session. Not a very long, not a very short, but precisely what you need optimally to trade the market. Thanks for joining here. This is almost end for today. There is still coming later today for the analysis and update. I'll be coming on live again tomorrow twice, like as usual, in London session time. If you don't know the timing for London session, is exactly from this time (7 hours 13 minutes) that are coming on live on. So if you count from time, your time zone, 7 hours 13 minutes back is the London live, and 2 hours 13 minutes back is NY live. 2 live precisely, and I would highly encourage you to stay exactly in time so that you are not missing the initial trade setup. Sometimes we go very fast, we start trading in the first 5 minutes of the live session if the market shows up those trades. And also stay connected in the group, because each trade also I'm sharing in the group. So in case you are not on the live, but I highly encourage you to do this, so also you can see the alert in the group. But in the live, you will see the full details and description of each trade that I'm opening. Thanks for joining here, and I'll see you again very soon in another session. Until that, stay well, stay happy.